Nice if I can get this lined up. Hello, Craig. Hello, Debbie. Welcome. Margot, Lee, Kelly, Deb, Kim, PJ, Anita, Carol, Donna, Anita, Diana, Charlesy, June. Thank you, everybody, for coming. So I put up my fall backdrop, getting ready, for things to cool down, even though here in New England, it's a balmy, like 90 degrees and very, oh, hi, good juju, and very humid. It's very humid. So I do have my water here, which I will be drinking. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my iPad. I have your questions in front of me. Thank you for sending me questions. I love it when you do that before I go live. It really does help. And if you hear the jingling of bells, that's Annie moving around. She's so funny. She's doing well. Hello, Yvonne, Sylvan, Hourglass. So nice to see everybody. Give my cards a little shuffle while we're waiting. So just a heads up for all my members, this Thursday coming up, we will be doing the live readings where I answer your personal questions and I do as many people as I can. And I do break up the levels. So keep that in mind. The link will always be in the community tab. Should also be in the members tab too. And we just completed the angel seminar course using the 72 angels of magic. And we will be going into, when I come back from my honeymoon, going into the archangel magic course. And so I will be posting today the book that you would need because you do need the sigils. And I really think this last Saturday, that angel magic course was amazing. I showed you how you can just do simple candle magic, right? Summoning just your own energy, using your own intentions. And, I think a lot of you had a lot of success and, I love having your success stories. So please keep them coming. So how is everyone today? Hello, Elevated Entrepreneur. Oh, thank you so much for the donation. I love how you made it yellow, my favorite color. Thank you. It kind of matches the backdrop, right? Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, Sue, Angel Magic course was so great. Wasn't it awesome? Yeah, Jenny, looking forward to the Archangel Magic course. Yes, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications, check out membership. If you want a reading, I know there's a lot of scammers out there. You can only get a reading with me by going to my website, dianeaquarius.com. So let's start digging in here. So got several questions going on. Oh, and at the end, we're going to do the angel numbers. Okay, we'll do a 3-card pick with that. Are the wedding plans finalized? For the most part, there's still a few things. We meet with the officiant on Monday, and he's going to be explaining to us how we do this hand fasting because we have to prepare these ropes and ribbons. There's 3 of them, and we have to decide if we do it facing each other or side by side and little things like that. I'm still waiting for all the favors and thank yous to come in, like the thank you gifts that you give out the end. I'm waiting for that to come in. My bouquet has been shipped. I talked about that before. So that's exciting. And I think not this weekend, but the next weekend I can pick up my dress. So very exciting. Yes, we're doing a hand fasting. So, okay, so we're doing the hand fasting, the traditional hand fasting that they would have done in medieval times. And we're also doing the exchanging of the rings. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So if you notice, I don't have my engagement ring on. That's because last weekend we dropped it off at the jeweler's because I'm having one of those bands where you take the ring and you put it into like the other ring. So it's surrounded by stones and I'm having it soldered together. So until my wedding day, you're not going to see my diamond here, okay? Because I don't want anyone to think the worst. You're not going to see my diamond for a few more weeks because it takes them 2 weeks. And in case there's a problem, I wanted to give them more than enough time. Michael's ring finally came in, thank goodness. because he has such a big finger, it was so hard getting him a ring. He takes a size 13 in men's, so we had to special order it. So, that's exciting. Um, yeah, every time I think that I'm done with everything, it's like, oh, wait, there's something else. So today I confirmed everything with the pet sitter for Annie. I wanted to make sure that this was somebody that specialized in senior cats, that had some kind of veterinarian background, and she does. And so, I finalized everything with her to make sure that Annie gets her medication every day and all that good stuff. Oh, thank you, OC Metals. I appreciate that. And I'll still say it's a dancing avocado. I know everyone's going to tell me it's a pear, but forever in my mind, they're going to be dancing avocados. Sandy, yours are soldered together too. You know what? Right. You say it's the best idea. That's what I think too. I don't want multiple bands rubbing on my finger constantly. I think that'll be really irritating. Like it'll get pinched. And besides, it looks really pretty when they're together. So, All right, let me take one more sip of water. Then I'm getting into these questions that you guys put out here. Okay. So, Diana. Will Ron DeSantis face political consequences, such as losing his next election for snubbing President Biden when he comes to Florida offering aid to the state after Hurricane Idalia? So here's the thing. No, I think for quite some time, DeSantis is going to be reasonably untouchable because he has a strong base. OC Metals, you're too funny. You got me the pear just to hear me say avocado. I do like avocados. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, unfortunately, I do think Ron DeSantis is in this for the long haul. I really do. And some of you got confused thinking like, I like him. No, but I have to tell you what I'm getting intuitively, psychically. No, I think he's in it for the long haul, unfortunately. But on the other hand, it's also kind of good because he isn't that well liked by the majority of the country. So it actually helps Biden. So let's take a peek here. Okay. So right now, Two of Wands, he's trying to plan everything out. He is scheming. He is plotting, planning, doing his thing, trying to figure out what's my next step. How can I manipulate that kind of thing? His obstacle, the Chariot, going ahead with the proper intentions, because the Chariot, when it's at its best, because for those of you that are new, my second card's always the obstacle card. I use the Celtic Cross method, like an abbreviated version, let's say. And so he's going to have some difficulties. He is. Because like I've said before, I do not see him winning, but I see him hanging around. Yeah, see? And then the Temperance card, things balance out for this man. He does have a certain amount of luck on his side up to a point. That's not going to last forever. And then we're going to find out, and I've said this before, here we go with the Justice card. We're going to find out some things about him, okay? And there's going to be some legal issues. So I really think he's going to have some issues. A lot of you have asked me what this deck is. This is called the Gold Foil Tarot, and it is basically the traditional Rider-Waite. And Smith, right? We should never forget Pamela Coleman Smith. Oh, interesting. Right there. Another Justice card, right? So, and these cards are just gorgeous. I can hold it up so you can see, but they're really, really beautiful. But, this is my card, the Page of Swords, for legal battles. Okay. Now, I don't think the legal battle is going to have anything to do particularly with Biden, per se. But here's the thing. 3 of Pentacles. He does get and enjoys a certain amount of support from his fan base. But on the other hand, the Moon, there are things about him that we don't know. And so, he is a man of both illusions and disillusionment. Oh, Paula, thank you. Paula says, not a question, but just a thank you for your assistance with the information you provide. Thank you, Paula. I hope you and all your pups are doing well. All your fur babies. Purple Lotus. Forgive me if I don't remember, if you've already answered this, but what is my take on Mitch McConnell? Yes. Because he reminds you of someone that you knew that had the petit mal seizures. So, as most of you know, I was a dementia practitioner. And so when you see somebody have a TIA or a trans ischemic attack, that is exactly what it looks like. Now, when they're trying to say things like dizziness, lightheadedness, dehydration, even Rand Paul said that doesn't make sense. Now, as somebody who does suffer from lightheadedness and dizziness because I have extremely low blood pressure, I don't freeze. I may go down on you, right? I may just like plop. Especially if I stand up too quick, it's like, oh, you see black. But it doesn't look like that frozen look when you get lightheaded and dizzy. And I've had dehydration before. As you guys know, I've had food poisoning a few times. And so dehydration doesn't freeze you. And so, no, I do think that he is having TIAs or mini strokes, as you would call them. But let's pull a couple of cards on Mitch. Yeah, I really don't care what doctors say. Nope. Watch. Okay, here's the thing. If you don't believe me, Google it, go on YouTube. I'm sure there are videos of people having TIAs. That's what it looks like. Now take a look at somebody who looks dehydrated. Take a look at somebody who's dizzy or lightheaded. I'm sorry. It's a TIA. And you'll never convince me otherwise. Unfortunately, he is ripe for, for vascular dementia. He did have that concussion. I'm sure that compounded things, but why did he get the concussion? I mean, it's not like you're walking along and all of a sudden you get a concussion, right? Something happened. And if you're just walking along and all of a sudden you have a TIA, you could be down on the ground. And that would have caused, because he went down hard, right? He broke ribs and all that. So, and like I said, you don't have to believe me. Don't believe any YouTuber. Do your own research. But as somebody that dealt with this day in and day out for most of my adult life with my patients, I know that look. I remember my first patient that had one. His name was John. He was adorable and the sweetest man. He was drinking his coffee and all of a sudden he had that look. And I didn't know what it was. And one of the nurses said, he always gets these TIAs. And he did indeed have vascular dementia. What will they say when it happens again, you ask? They're going to keep trying to cover it up. He's not going to leave unless, he's like in a body bag. The man's not leaving. So interesting. Here's the card that represents Mitch. 5 of Cups. The card of like sorrow, sadness, regret, remorse. He is not in a good way. He's not happy. His obstacle, the world. So the world is about starting a new phase of your life, right? And so in a way, he is starting a new phase. It's just not one that anybody would desire, correct? So, he's having a hard time starting this new phase where he's like this triumphant politician. It's not working out. Look at this. I mean, do I need to say more? 3 of Swords. You can say, yes, this is heartbreak, heartache, grief, but we can also say there's something cardiovascular also going on because we are talking about his health, right? This is something we can take literally. Wheel of Fortune. He's at a turning point where he is now coming into his karmic destiny and fate. And how appropriate is that? How appropriate is that? Yeah, okay, see, I'll pull the top 2 cards. But this is the Ace of Pentacles, if you can't see it. So the Ace of Pentacles, there's people that's throwing money at him to keep him there, right? And I think we know, pretty much who it is. I mean, there's those in the Republican Party that don't want him to go. But here he also is too with the hermit, where he's not getting the support from a lot of people, including Republicans, to stay. He isn't. This isn't good. There's other Republicans that want to step up, and he's not allowing for it. And then there's those, that have this huge amounts of money that's keeping him in place. And so, yeah, it's interesting, but you know what? I certainly do not see him going for a second term, and I do not see him getting better. So, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, I don't want anyone to be sick, but at the same time, I don't see this man recovering. He's elderly and he has a brain injury. And I do suspect there is something cardiovascular going on. So, okay. Giselle asks, will Tuberville, Tuberville, what a piece of work. Isn't that strange? So Tuberville, will he change his stance and allow for military promotions to go through? So I read that there's over 300 military promotions that, and if you're not familiar with Tuberville, Tommy Tuberville, nevertheless, he is a Republican from Alabama who is saying, basically, if women get appropriate health care and health care that they need, then he is going to not allow for military promotions to go through. He's holding out. So let's see what's going to happen with this man. And I'm pretty sure, I'm going to say, I'm 99% sure I've never read on this man before. But you know what, though? He's making a name for himself, isn't he? Isn't he? By the way, there will be a new Pick-a-Pile video coming out this weekend. I know so many of you are enjoying them and that they're really helping you out. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, so he gets 7 of Cups, the card of disillusionment. His head's in the clouds. He's not grounded. The things in these cups aren't real. There's ghosts, fairies, baubles, castles. It's just a hodgepodge of disillusionment. He's not being grounded. He's not being realistic. First of all, this can't go on forever, okay? Hi, Nirjana. His obstacle, Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about being steadfast, reliable, predictable, practical, and he just isn't. What he's doing isn't making sense at all, is it? It's just absurd. But he's in 5 of Swords for a ruthless battle. He is somebody that's going to dig his feet in and just make everybody miserable. Oh, Craig, is it Tuberville or Tuberville? Calls himself the most, wait, what does he call himself? The most military man ever? Oh my gosh. And so I'm going to take this, where we get the ruthless battle and we get the Empress here. The Empress is one of my cards for the US. And so it's kind of like he's fighting the people he's supposed to be representing, right? He's having this fight against his own people. And so, I mean, because not is he just trying to hurt women, but he's also hurting people in the military too. I suspect a lot of them are male. So let me just do a couple of clarifiers. Oh, I love the next question, by the way, too, guys. Oh, hi, Janny. Welcome. Oh, interesting. I'll take the top 2 cards here. It's interesting how the top 2 cards, King of Cups, Queen of Wands. Okay. So with that, King of Cups, lots of emotions, right? Lots of emotions. And I think that's kind of all around. These emotions are coming from all over the place. Even though I think he's trying to throw his emotions, his thoughts and feelings around, this is also going to make the military really dislike him, isn't it? And then as for the Queen of Wands, you know, she is someone that you don't mess with. She is passionate. She's fiery. She's enthusiastic. She gets the job done. She can be a one-woman army. She can run a business. She can do whatever needs to be done. And that's what he's going to be coming up against, is that energy. So don't be surprised if you hear about a woman that really steps up all of this, you know, and just throws them to the wayside. I mean, really ridiculous. The next question is almost the same, Paula, so I'm going to skip that because I think I kind of answered that. But Giselle asks a great question. I don't know if you guys caught this. Giselle asks, how does Eric Trump feel about being thrown under the bus by Daddy? Can you believe 45 said what he said? He threw his own son under the bus. I mean, what kind of parent does that? Unbelievable. But remember what I said years ago? There was going to be a point where they're all throwing each other under the bus in that family. That whole family just throwing each other under the bus, bump, 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 right? And now we're starting to see it play out in front of our eyes in real time. I mean, can you imagine how awkward that Thanksgiving would be, or that Christmas dinner, or, you know, the next family get together? Like, Dad, really? So let's do a little reading on, yes, okay. Someone says there's no bottom for that guy. So yeah, right. And Gloria says that's what a narcissist does. Yes, right. Protect thyself at all costs. I mean, that was just unbelievable that he would throw his own son under the bus. Instead of taking the blame, instead of stepping up, saying, no, blame him instead. But that's his own child. Oh, okay. I got a jumper. Just going to take that one out. Okay. Okay, so Eric Trump. Right now, and I am taking this at face value. He sort of feels like a star. Like, ooh, I got mentioned. People are talking about me. Like, it's kind of like a weird ideation to have these thoughts. But I'm going to say he's actually a little twisted here. He's a little twisted. The obstacle, Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups, yes, it can be about childhood. And yes, I mean, this has to do with a father and son. But on the other hand, this also has to do with normalcy. You know, how things are typically done, how things are traditionally done, what's normal, what isn't. And no, I'm going to say 45 did not behave normally. So what I think is going to come up, Page of Cups here. What's going to come up is the relationships that he has had with other people. And if you've been watching me long enough, I've been talking about that now for years. That what's going to bring the whole Trump empire down is their relationships with other people, right? Because they're not good. They wheel, they deal, and not with good people and not in the right way. The Hierophant, he's going to court. He's going to court. So what 45 did is going to have real consequences, okay? Real consequences. Hi, Christina. Yeah, this is going to have real consequences for him in the real world. Oh, okay. It's interesting because with him, I'm getting some jumpers. I'm getting some jumpers. Yeah. Okay. So Knight of Swords. So where we get the Hierophant, Knight of Swords, that tells me, yes, this is a legal issue. This is actually going to go to court. What his father did is going to matter. And here he is, Three of Wands, just kind of left waiting for his ship to come in, waiting for things to get better. Oh, let's see if I can pick up that jumper. It's way down here. So the two cards that jumped out, one jumped out from each deck. The first one was the Queen of Pentacles. And so that makes me feel like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm just going to say it. And I just always trust it when I get these messages. It has something to do with Ivanka. It has something to do with Ivanka. So stay tuned. Keep listening to this case. And I think she's going to play a bigger role. And the other one that jumped out is the Wheel of Fortune. And so this is a real turning point in his life. And guess what? Just like 45, he's coming into his karmic destiny and his fate, right? Okay, so Marie asks an interesting question. And I've answered this one before. And people always have mixed reviews when I answer it. But honestly, it's not anything that you can prove one way or the other. All I can do is just give you my opinion. Is Satan a real entity? If not, where does evil come from? So in all my years, and remember I started working with entities on the other side since I was about 3 or so, I've never met a guy in a red suit. And as I've gotten older, I've done a lot of religious studies and a lot of studies with the paranormal. What I'm going to say is I separate Satan from Lucifer, from Beelzebub, and all the other dark entities. Okay. So I do not think Lucifer and Satan is the same entity. So understand that, because if you do the research, they're not. They have different backgrounds. Lucifer was the angel Halel before Michael cast him out of heaven. Satan is more of what I call an egregore. He never had like a soul. He's more of an ideation, right? And all of us can create egregores, right? So like, say if you write a book and you want to sell books, so you create an egregore to just constantly sell your books, right? A lot of people in the music industry, they do that to sell their music. People that are authors do that to sell their books, right? You create it. It's a thought form that you just very carefully construct using your intentions, and you feed it energy, but it's not real. So like Lucifer, I consider to actually be real. Say Beelzebub too. And, and for those of you that took my 72 Angels of Magic class, I also talked about there are 72 demonic counterparts, the demons of the Goetia. So yeah. Where does evil come from? Mankind, humans. We don't need anything up in the ethers making people bad. We don't need that. Humans do a pretty good job of that all on their own. It's a man-made construct, I believe, to keep people in line, and it has worked very well. So that's my thought on that. So Hunter Biden, he's certainly going through his trials and tribulations right now. But the one thing that really strikes me about the whole thing with him is that he's being used more as like a pawn, if anything. Well, let me move this out of the camera here. Because with him, it has more to do with timing. Because we know that before this election, we're going to see 45 again and again and again being put through the legal system. But we don't have something for the Democrats. So they needed something, right? Plus statute of limitations is coming up too. That is an issue. And so I still say he's going to be fine. I really think nothing's going to come of this. That's my personal feelings on it. So let's just take a little peek. Oh, Maria says, thank you for coming on live earlier for people in Europe. Yeah, I try to mix it up. So that way people can have different times. Like this past Saturday when I did the Angel Seminar, I did it at 12 noon Eastern time. And so that made it so if you were on the West Coast or if you're over in Europe, chances are you could attend. So I do try that. Okay. So Hunter Biden, once again, his cards are still good. I'll do this deck first, but his cards are still good. You know, the card 10 of Cups of celebrations, peace, love, happiness, obstacle. You know, he has a bit of an uphill battle with this. I mean, they're going to put him through the mill, right? They're going to run him through the mill. They're going to give him a hard time. He does have his work cut out for him. 8 of Pentacles. But here he is walking away at the end of the day. And if you notice, the thing about the 8 of Cups, all the cups are upright. Nothing's been lost. The cups haven't spilt anything. Okay. So I really do feel like he's going to be fine. He's just going to have to just go through the process. And at the end of the day, we're not going to be talking about it. I don't think the Republicans care about Hunter at all, personally. I think they care more about his father and trying to hurt him. Oh my goodness, so I'm getting a lot of people from Europe. Okay, welcome everybody from Europe. Oh, interesting. So he actually gets the 7 of Wands twice. So yeah, he's going to have his work cut out. I mean, they're going to put him through the mill, like I said. But ultimately, he ends up King of Pentacles. All is well. You know, the King of Pentacles is very grounded and down to earth and nurturing. And, you know, he has enough money. He has enough of what he needs and all that. So yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I see all of you talking about the dead files. So like I said before, you know, being a psychic medium is hard. So Amy Allen has left. She is recovering. They do have a different psychic medium that has taken her place for now, and she does seem to be quite good. Of course, I'm always a little bit biased towards Amy, but yeah, and if you guys ever want to learn more about egregores and, you know, any of the things that psychic mediums deal with, poltergeists, all that, watch on the Travel Channel, The Dead Files. So do I have any questions? Is there anything that you would like me to take a look at? Susan says an emotional support dog was lost by Delta Airlines. Oh my gosh, on the tarmac. Oh, will the dog be found? Oh my gosh, so the owner was forced to leave the country without her dog. Oh, I wouldn't have left. I would not have left. Oh, no. Oh. I mean, how do you lose a sentient being? The cards are actually really awful for the dog. So what the heck did they do? I mean, so we get the death card, which I usually take as not being literal, except when it gets coupled with certain cards. You know, so 4 of Swords here, so not great. The card of victimization and then a legal battle. So yeah, I'm not feeling great. I'm not going to touch that one. I'm going to leave it. I think that woman has one heck of a lawsuit. That's what I'll say. The owner had the wrong visa, so Delta took her dog because it wasn't allowed in customs. Oh man. Oh yeah. I saw somebody ask about Jill Biden. I think she's going to be fine. I think she's going to recover beautifully. I feel good about that. Mary, will the Supreme Court change within the year? So I'm going to say probably not before December, right? Like 2023. But next 12 months, I feel pretty optimistic. So let's take a look at that. Delta offered her $1,800. Well, how do you put a price on your pet? Wait, I'm still like, before I do another one, like I still have to like comprehend this. Oh, yeah, you couldn't put a price on my pet. All right, so Supreme Court, will it change in 2024? Okay, Empress, love that. You know, she's about productivity, creativity, one of my cards for the US. It will be challenging. The sun is in the obstacle position, right? They're going to try to suppress having a new beginning. They're going to try to suppress us being enlightened by what some of these folks are doing. But, you know, the death card, transition, transformation, and then somebody very stable coming in, King of Pentacles, somebody really nice and stable. So I like that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to look, I see a lot of you guys are asking about this Hurricane Lee, you know, really concerning, right? Because when you look at, you know, those spaghetti maps that they do, it really could go like all the way up to us in New England. So let's take a look at what it's going to do to us on the East Coast, right? So let's look at the East Coast of the US and see how that's going to impact us. I mean, I think it's safe to say it's going to hit those islands, right? I mean, I don't think we really need to look at that. I mean, it's obviously going to hit the islands, all the islands going up that way. So welcome, Casmo. So the East Coast of the US. Okay, well, first card, the card of drastic change, Knight of Wands, right? Well, that is what hurricanes do, right? They create a lot of change. Everything is sort of up in the air right now. Four of Cups, we're not quite sure what's going to happen. But also, too, we're probably not going to like it, right? Because this is also the card of like apathy, not being too happy and pleased with things. We're going to have to persevere. All right, so that tells me a lot. Nine of Wands. Ace of Swords. We will be finding this out soon, right? That's something that we're going to be finding out soon. How could we not? Oh, I will look at Vivek. Oh my God. He is really something, isn't he? Yeah, see, and if you look, money's going to have to be given out. It's going to have to be dispersed, and communities are going to have to come together. So Three of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles. So yeah, that tells me we are getting hit. We are getting hit. So oh my gosh, yeah. Looking at Vivek Ramaswamy, he's almost like hard to believe. He just seems so bombastic, so out of touch. I really don't think he stands a chance. I honestly don't. But let's pull a few cards on him anyways. Let's take a peek. I mean, it's almost like he's just been thrown in there to be a disruptor. Don't you get that feeling like he's just been thrown in there to be a disruptor? To shake things up, just to be nasty. And so, okay, the World card. He's starting one phase of his life. I mean, he's ending one phase of his life. He's starting another. And yeah, I think that probably describes it pretty well, right? Because we really weren't talking about him before this. Particularly before that last debate, we weren't really talking about this man. And so now but I think he's also a narcissist. So I think this is a bit of a problem. I think he's enjoying this. he's enjoying creating this chaos and being nasty. His obstacle, though, I think, Knight of Pentacles, is getting enough funding, getting what he needs to actually move forward. And it also implies, too, because Knight of Pentacles is very steadfast, reliable, practical, down to earth, grounded. He isn't. He isn't. Ace of Swords, there's some truths that we're going to be finding out about him, which causes those around him, Knight of Swords, to take some action. So that makes me think like, okay, this guy isn't squeaky clean. We're going to be finding out some stuff here. Okay, let's see. Oh, isn't that funny? Look at that. When I go to clarify, I get 2 Knight of Swords here. So, all right. That tells me that there's going to be some action taking against him. Look at this. Because of things that he has done. Here's the Devil card. The card of sin and greed. Nasty actions that he has taken. So I really think things are not going to go his way. I suspect in a few months we will not be discussing him. Yeah, Ink and Flame says Vivek seems like a big phony, just playing for power or fame. Yes, that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, this guy's not for real. There's something really wrong. Vivek is in some legal trouble. Oh, and he's saying he's too busy running for president to testify in court. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I mean, the cards, that's the beauty of tarot. You don't even have to know these facts, right? It just does it for you. Before I do the angel numbers for you, I do have a few of you that's coming to my wedding. If you do want to come to my wedding, September 30th, it's a morning wedding. It is at King Richard's Fair, and you can look that up. They have their own website, King Richard's Fair. You have to email me, let me know, and I can send you an invitation, okay? So let's end on a good note. Let's see what angel numbers you need to pay attention to and what the angels want you to know today. Okay. So take a nice deep breath. And just ask, what do I need to know right now from the angels? What numbers should I be paying attention to? And just, what do you feel gravitated towards? Like, do you feel more pulled towards 1, 2, or 3? Okay, here we go. So number 1, 666, which I still say is not a bad number, right? Once again, man-made construct. It says, I am centered. A wake-up call for you to re-examine your current situation and change the direction of your thoughts so you can raise your vibration to a more positive frequency. Number 2, 88, I am wealthy. You are on the cusp of a prosperous and abundant spiritual life. You will find numerous opportunities for success and achievement, all of which bring financial and material abundance into your life. And then lastly, a single 8, I am successful. Your talent for setting and reaching goals is like no other. You are self-sufficient and capable of achieving your ambitions. That is not a word. Representing the, I think that must be an 8. 8 representing the ebb and flow, the infinite loop of creation. So all really positive messages. So I want to leave you with that. Keep your eye out for the new Pick a Pile. And thank you everybody that donated to, this live. I appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please hit like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. Check out membership. It is robust. You get dozens of classes, from meeting your spirit guide to working with the angels to meditation and your chakras and mediumship and all that good stuff. And if you do want a reading, for when I come back from my honeymoon, you can go to my website, dianeaquarius.com. But until then, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Goodbye, everybody.